This Calvin Castine is approaching 1 p.m. on the 27th day of March 2004. And we're at the 8-Ball Billiards facility on Route 9 north of Plattsburgh for the annual 8-Ball Billiards Pool Tournament. An event covered for the past several years, about 8 years or so I would guess. 8 to 10 years. On Hometown Cable. The last of the warm-up games are concluding, and we'll be coming back to you momentarily with the start of the playoff round of the annual tournament. We'll have the organizer, Jay Montpelier, to tell us all the details of the tournament and help keep us apprised of what's happening.
Done a little rundown. We're going to set up the table and put the trophies on it and the cues and take some pictures and get this tournament rolling. So all the players start to get ready and the referees, we're going to start taking pictures. Thank you.
There's a total of 8 participants who have made it this far. They've each won at a different establishment. And they will be competing. The first one to win at the first establishment to get the number 1 seed, I believe, and then they go on. So the last person to qualify is listed as the 8th seed. These just might be the judges right there we're just looking at.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to our brand new 8-Ball Billiards Cafe. It's not officially open right now, but we're hoping for like May 1st. We have little odds and ends all over. I'm Jay Montpelier, Tournament Director of the 12th Annual it's not the Northern Tier Winter Carnival Pool Tournament. The 8-Ball Billiards Annual Winter Pool Tournament. This is our 6th road trip. This year we went to Chateauguay and we honored Polly Jackson's Pool Hall. And this year we're starting something new. We're doing what we call a hard luck tournament. It's the first annual one, and it's open to anybody that played in any of the locations, but they didn't qualify. They'll receive first place $100, second place $75, third place $50. For the big tournament, the first place prize is a 100th anniversary McDermott Harley Davidson cue valued at $349 and a trophy. Second place is a McDermott exotic wood cue valued at $175 and a trophy. Third place is an action cue, an eagle cue valued at $95 and a trophy. All the finalists received a t-shirt and 6 hours of table time in the new cafe. I'd like to thank all our sponsors and all our players, our referees, and all our helpers. And I'd like to say hi to my mom who came here with her friend Frank. Thank you everybody for coming. And we can't forget Calvin Castine here. Let's give him a big round of applause. First I'm going to introduce our referees, and usually we have 3, but this year we have 4. Because they're playing in the hard luck tournament, so we usually have 2 referees on the table at all times. Our head referee is from Chateauguay. He qualified for the tournament in 2002 and 2003. And he was a rep in 2001, Timmy Lord. Our second referee is from Keysville. He qualified in 94, 98, 2000, and 2003, and he was a 2-time referee, Bill Siebert. Our third referee played 2 times in the tournament. He's a first-time referee. He's from West Chazy, Ken Finette. Our fourth referee. He's the foreman of the landscape crew at Jay's Nursery and Landscaping. He's a newcomer to pool and he enjoys the game. Jason Stone. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's our lineup for 2004. Playing for the Chateauguay Hotel in Chateauguay. He's the champion 2001. He's from West JC, Neil Young. Playing for Sandy Shamrock Inn in Ellenburg Center. He's from Ellenburg Depot. He qualified in 98, 2000, and 2003. He has 2 seconds, and he says he's not going to get a second this year. Rip Giroux. Playing for the Country Club in Moores, he qualified in 97, 98, 99, 2000. He has 1 second, and he's from Georgia, Vermont. Pat Therian. Playing for the VFW in Champlain, he qualified in 94 and 2002. He's from Champlain, Johnny Richards. Playing for Armins in Ross's Point, he's qualified in 98, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. He's a 3-time champ and he's a 3rd place Gary Dubuque. Playing for the American Legion in Ross's Point, he's qualified in 95, 96, and 2003. He's from Champlain, Bob Barnes. Playing for the Beaumont Lanes in Ross's Point, he's a first-time player. He's from Dannemora, Ken Levine. Playing for Manny's in Champlain, he's a first-time finalist. He's from Coopersville, Darren Mayo. We can get everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the tournament.
Okay, we are set for the first game of the match. Number 1 against number 2. Is that how it works here, Jay Montpelier?
Yes, number 1 against 2 would be Gary Dubuque against Johnny Richards. Gary is representing Armins, and Johnny is representing the VFW.
All right, Johnny Richards. That's probably Richard. Looks a lot like a fellow I know named Leo Richard. Now, outside of playing first and second, what advantage is there to being number 1 and number 2? Do they get a better route to the finals, or there's no real advantage to it?
No, there's no real advantage, Calvin. It's just the luck of the draw. What we do is line them all up and pull the numbers out of a hat, and that's how we figure out who plays who.
Okay, so I thought maybe the first one to qualify got number 1. That's not the case?
No, in years past we've done that, but now we just leave it a random draw.
Okay, and is that drawing done under the guidance of Price Waterhouse or some other auditing agency? How do you draw?
Actually, we use little pills in a bottle. They're little numbers, and you give each person the bottle and let them shake it and pull their pill out.
Oh, so they all get together? You get them all together?
Well, I went around and had them each pull a pill.
Okay, now Dubuque has been here before. You mentioned his history at the introduction, but tell us again.
I don't have it in front of me. He's a 3-time champ and a 1-time third, and he qualified in, I will guess, 98, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003.
All right, he's shooting the big ones, I guess. Each of these is 2 out of 3. Correct?
2 out of 3, yes.
Now, tell us some of the tournament rules that may not be obvious.
Okay, Calvin. Well, at the beginning of the game, once you make the break, it's still choice. So if you make one ball, you still have choice. The other big thing is you call your ball in your pocket. It doesn't matter how it gets there, but you'll call your number ball in the pocket it's going in. If the balls are straight in, the guys don't usually call them. Today they may, but anything that goes off a rail or off another ball, you'll see them actually physically call them. When you get down to the 8 ball, it's just like any other ball. If you don't hit it, it's a ball in hand anywhere in the table, and it's classified as a foul. However, if you scratch on the 8, you lose.
All right, and the only scratch you would talk about would be putting the cue ball in the pocket, or how about if you missed the 8 ball completely? Is that a scratch?
That's considered a scratch also, which is a foul. If you don't hit your object ball, if you don't send the ball to a rail, that's a scratch or a foul.
So if you scratch on the 8 ball, you're out. The game's over.
Yes, any foul on the 8, actually, other than the hitting it rule, you lose. In other words, if you bump a ball with your shirt or anything like that, you lose. The only rule on the 8 ball where you don't lose is if you don't hit it, as long as you don't scratch.
Okay, so if you're shooting at the 8 ball and you don't hit it, it's ball in hand for your opponent.
That's right.
Now, John Richard been in this before?
Johnny's been in. He hasn't been in the top 3, but he qualified in 94 and 2002. And he's played for a few years here, but he hasn't qualified. It's very tough competition lately, Calvin. This year was the biggest turnout we've ever had. We were over triple last year.
Any indication on why that happened?
Well, I'd like to believe that it's all the hype with the new billiard cafe, but time will tell.
Do you foresee ever having qualifying tournaments here at your own establishment?
No, right now I've said it in past years. I want to keep taking care of the people that took care of this tournament from the beginning up in Champlain and Rouse's Point, and as long as they want to be in this tournament, we're going to travel out there for them.
It helps draw interest to your what do you call this place?
8 Ball Billiards Cafe.
All right, we just had game 1 finished while we were chatting.
That was Gary Dubuque took the first game.
And he was shooting the low balls. I thought he's shooting the high balls, but he was shooting the low balls. So losing here, you move into a losing bracket. So if you're losing that first round, you're not automatically out. It's just a tougher road to the finals.
It's almost like double the play if you lose in the first round in the winners bracket. It's almost like double the play to get to the winners at the end.
What's the fewest number of games would it take to get to the trophy?
Four to a trophy would be the fewest number of matches you could win without losing. Would get you a trophy.
Okay, that trophy would be in the top 3. The single camera, we're not always able to see the table the way we'd like to, but we make do. Very nice shot, but that wasn't the ball he was trying to put in. Okay, scratch. So it'll be ball in hand for Dubuque. In years past, you've had something for people who put the 8 ball in on a break.
Yeah, we used to give a trophy, Calvin, but this year there's no trophy. In fact, the guys are a little bit upset over the 8 ball break, and sometime throughout the day here, we're going to take a vote on it and see if they want to keep that rule in the future.
Meaning what?
Well, meaning that doesn't necessarily mean the better player wins, because an 8-ball break ends the game immediately if you don't scratch. And there's been a lot of 8-ball breaks this year in the qualifying rounds.
So the guys want to play them, so you just reset?
Right. Well, like the Northern New York tournament, what they do is if you get an 8-ball break and you don't scratch, they spot the 8-ball and you get to continue to shoot. If you get an 8-ball break and you scratch, you spot the 8-ball and your opponent continues to shoot.
And if the spot is occupied?
It's a straight line to the back of the table.
And of course, the spot is, the spot on this end is hidden, but there's a spot right there at the other end of the table. Normally, that spot is important because you break with your cue ball behind that dot, and if you're not playing ball in hand, and on a scratch you would shoot from behind that dot with your cue ball. Does everybody play ball in hand now, or do people still play the old-fashioned way where if you scratch you go behind the dot?
Well, barroom rules around the area, it's still behind the line, but all the tournaments in the area, it's ball in hand anywhere in the table.
Okay, we are in game one. There's a 15 game maximum here, I believe, right?
Is that what it is, Calvin?
I believe it is. I think it is 14 or 15 if it's a double elimination. So if the person who hasn't lost doesn't lose in that first championship game, I think it's only 14, and if they lose, it goes to the 15th game. Okay, it looks like an open door here for Dubuque.
Yeah, it looks like he could finish this matchup right here, Calvin. Wide open table.
All right, he'll advance. Assuming he wins it, he'll advance to play the winner of the next game.
The next match would be Bob Barnes and Neil Young.
Pretty easy shot, and of course he has to ask for the mark to indicate which pocket he's shooting at. The referees hold the marker, and he has to physically ask for it, correct?
That's right. We just had a little meeting before the tournament and decided that was the way we're going to do it this year. So the first match goes to Gary Dubuque.
And of course that 11 ball was pretty well preventing him from scratching on that, so that was a fairly easy shot to wrap up this first game, our first match, and winning two out of three. Okay, here's Bob Barnes breaking to start the second match. Jay Montpelier has left, and he'll be having a meeting over in the far corner. A coincidental tournament is going to be going on where people who participated in the qualifying rounds but didn't qualify are going to have their own little tournament on the far side, and many of the judges are in that tournament. There are two other tables in here besides the one that we are looking at here with Barnes shooting. Jay, when he left, also took all the tournament information with him, so he's assuming more than he should as far as my knowledge of what's happening here. I believe Barnes' opponent is Neil Young. Try to put the 2 ball into the corner. And just wasn't able to get enough contact on it to send it that far. The direction was correct, but just wasn't a lot of push behind the 2 ball because he didn't have much distance between his cue and the 2, and of course you don't want to ram things too hard and end up putting your 8 ball in somewhere. So Young has, except for the 9 ball, which is blocked by the 2 over here, he has a pretty good shot. I'm not sure. It looks like that 14 will go off the 12. And that's what he's looking at right now. If they're touching, that becomes an easy shot, but apparently they're not touching. And now he's got a bit of a problem. He's going to have to try to sneak that 12 ball by the 2. And I don't think it would bother him at all if he put that 2 in, because that would open it up for the 9 ball and the 14, and his 8 is over here next to the 3. Looks like he was content just to stir things up. The 7 ball becomes the problem here for Barnes, and of course the 3 ball being next to the 8 is also a bit of a problem. And his view of the 4, looks like he's got a good view of the 4. He's going to try to put that in the corner, and in doing so he knocks his 3 ball away from the 8. The 8 ends up about 4 inches away from the side pocket. He's got his 7 along the bank being hidden by the 14. He's going to try to knock the 2 in. He does with a combination. The 9 knocking in the 2, and that opened up things. Got his 7 away from the bank. Looks like he's going to go for the 7, then get the 3 and leave himself in position for the 8. This is game 1 in the second match. Best 2 of 3. A total of 14 or 15 matches to be played today. We won't bring you all of them in this viewing. Barnes, I don't think he's particularly happy with his leave here with that cue ball. I thought he'd try to leave the cue ball right about in this area where he could have just shot the 3 on down into the corner. Instead, he's stuck with a bank shot, and he's got to be concerned about that cue ball hitting the 8. I think he's going to try to cut the 3 in. He is. Cuts the 3 in and he scratches. So it'll be ball in hand for Neil Young. Looks like Young's going to go after the 14, then come up to get the other 2. The 9 ball is right on the bank. Back up at this end. So he may go, yes, he's going to get the old rule has always been, of course, rules are made to be broken, but in a situation like this, you always shoot the one closest to the bank. That's the old expression, but always is a little harsh. He can see the 8, but I'm not sure he can put it in. There's the 8 ball, which is on the bank. If he had a view of it, he could very easily put it in, but I don't think he can get by. I'm not sure if he can get by that 14. Looks like he can. And just wants to put a little follow on here so he doesn't scratch. So you see him putting this cue stick up high. And I think concerned about scratching was what caused him to miss that one. Again, Young will go to the one closest to the bank, shooting the 12. Puts it in, hits off the side. And in perfect position for the 8 ball. Let's see. Oh, no. Take that back. Take that back. This is not perfect position. The cue ball kept coming and coming. Okay, he's decided to put it in the corner. Nice try, but anytime you take a shot and the cue ball hits 3 or 4 banks, you're playing with fire, because every time it bounces off another bank, you got a possibility of it scratching somewhere. Next time you leave, Jay, please don't take the sheet information with you.
I apologize.
You know what's going on here. I don't. All right. Now, Barnes takes the first game of this second match, and we have seen people lose because they haven't grabbed that marker and indicated their pocket, so that's an important thing for these guys to remember. Correct?
That's correct. We've seen it before.
The winner here will face Gary Dubuque. The loser will move down to the loser's bracket to face John Richard. Then next up will be Rick Giro and Pat Therian. Now, does the top seed get choice on break on the first ball of the match?
No, they flip each match, Calvin. They flip a coin.
Okay. Now, you did say some people weren't happy with the 8 ball break rule, but you are sticking with it this year, right? You put it in on the 8.
That's right. Well, you don't want to change it in the middle of the tournament, but we'll start fresh next year, whatever the boys decide.
Boys, huh? I don't think we've talked about this before. Any girls ever qualify?
Well, we talk about it every year. No women have qualified yet, but we've had a lot of women players.
How about in that big tournament that I guess this year it's been moved from Lake Placid?
Yeah, they moved it down to Plattsburgh. That was a beautiful shot Neil just made. He cut that 3 ball up the rail. The tournament's moved to Plattsburgh for, I think this is the third year, and from what they say, they're not going back to Lake Placid. It's going to stay in Plattsburgh from now on.
What's that tournament called?
It's Northern New York. It's got about 140 players, 70 locations.
And Valley Vending's the one that puts that one on, is that?
Valley Vending out of Plattsburgh and Lewis, A.S. Hardy out of Malone, and Upstate Vending, and Mike Kinville out of Saranac Lake. Now this is a tricky little spot here. This 4-ball is makeable, but he's going to want to hold it from scratch. If he can just hit the end of the rail with the cue ball.
Now what happens if scratching is his problem here, but obviously we know if he shoots at that 4 where he's planning on putting it, he doesn't call it. It goes in there. Can the judges say, hey, you didn't call it? I mean, it's the obvious shot.
Well, yeah, this year we're not getting picky on straight-in shots. If he was shooting straight up at it right now, it'd be pretty obvious he's going for the corner pocket. The only other opportunity to have, Calvin, would be to go off 2 rails with right-hand English and play it in the side, and he just called that. Off 2 rails and in the side pocket.
I think he only went off 1 rail.
Yeah, and it also didn't go in.
Yeah, he doesn't have to call the rails. He just has to call the pocket.
Right. I was just giving a little insight here because the way the 9 was situated, he'd almost have to go off 2 rails. Well, Bob's looking at a way to run this out. They're all there, but he wants to take the right ball first.
Well, I guess he can probably put that 11 in if he can't get that 9, but would 9 be your first option? He's getting a ball in hand. Nothing hit the rail. Tell us about that.
That's right, Calvin. I didn't even catch that. The referees called a foul on that because when he came down, he hit the 4-ball, and the 4-ball continued down the rail, but it didn't hit the rail, and the cue ball never hit the rail either. So that's quick spotting by the referees, and that's exactly what happened. So now he gets a ball in hand. Very good call. Very good call.
So that made it a lot easier for Mr. Barnes.
Yeah, it took the thought out of it to put it anywhere he wanted to put it. So. Well, the only thing here is he needs a little bit of luck here when he makes this combination, so his second ball doesn't get up behind the 4 or something like that.
This combination is almost impossible to miss.
It is. He's more concerned about his where his 12 ball was going to lay. Now he's in a good position here with the 9. He can play that in the corner with bottom left and draw the cue ball right down here and see the 12 by the 8.
It looks like the 12 is against the cushion, so that becomes a little bit tougher shot.
He's got to bring the cue ball back down this way a bit. That was a beautiful shot. That was textbook right there. Perfect.
And now he'll try to bring that cue ball back just a bit.
I'm not sure if where he's gonna put the 8. Yeah, there he goes. He brought the cue ball right out. He's got a wide open shot on the 8. A little bit far from his work, but it'll work.
He remembered the.
Well, Bob usually does. I don't think he's ever forgotten the token yet.
Well, I would say most times when you're playing pool, you don't use the token, you just point to it. So.
Right. Well, in the big tournament, the referees walk over and hand you the token now. There it is. The first match for these guys goes to Bob Barnes.
All right, so we've got 2 winners in the first 2 matches. It's Gary Dubuque and Bob Barnes, but the losers aren't out of it. They're in the losers bracket. Okay, we're getting set for the third match, which will be Rick Giro and Pat Therian. Between matches, you and the referees were having a discussion. Jay, tell us about that.
Well, what our discussion was when Neil Young went for his kick shot off the rail onto his 4-ball, we were wondering if, in fact, something did hit a rail, because they gave Bob Barnes ball in hand, and my recollection, it didn't hit a rail, but it could have.
Any ball hitting the rail would qualify.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be the ones that you are looking, the cue ball, the ball he was shooting at, any other ball, incidental ball hits the rail.
That's right.
That's where you need instant replay.
Well, I was thinking maybe we should back that up and take a look at it.
Too late now, but what happens if referees make a judgment call like that and Neil Young say, hey, I did hit a rail, or what the referees rule? Just like if an umpire says you're out,
That's
you
usually
might be safe, but you're out.
That's usually the way it goes.
That's why you have the referees.
That's right.
But he could point out to somebody that, this ball here, it hit it, and then the ref might kick something in the ref's memory and say, oh yeah, you're right.
Well, I think what we
Time
should
to
do.
speak up is before the shot.
I think what we should do is before the referee grabs the cue ball, they should okay it with the person that shot it that it is in fact a foul.
Now I heard you say that Rick Giro is not going to says he's not going to finish second today. Is he planning to leave early? Is that the idea?
No, I think he plans to win, actually.
I misunderstood then.
Yeah, I think that's what he wanted.
You've got Pat Therian from Vermont here. Do you have many Vermonters that compete?
Lately, the only one that's been doing it's Pat. In past years, we've had a handful of Vermonters, but Pat is our perennial player. Pat qualified at the country club on his first try, and Rick Giroux, who was playing against Pat, qualified at Sandy Shamrock Inn in Ellenburg Center on his first try.
Now, Northern Tier, you get an occasional Canadian that comes through that is a regular at some of these establishments. You ever get many Canadians that compete in the tournament?
Once in a while. It's rare. But once we get this pool hall going, we advertise on TV on Channel 5 for the Canadian market and the Burlington market. Hopefully it's going to bring down more players from out of the area.
I noticed an ad in the paper that said this tournament finals would be on TV. It didn't say which channel's on though.
Yeah, well, of course, all our viewers know it's Hometown Cable.
Oh.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe we should put that in the paper, Calvin. Hometown Cable.
Stop before I go to church.
Therian kind of nonchalanted his shot. Kind of took that one for granted, didn't he?
Yeah, he took it for granted, and then he scratched, so now gives Rick that great opportunity with his ball in hand.
Yeah, he's over there shaking his head. That was, he just shot as if, wow, this is an automatic. He found out it wasn't.
Yep. No shot should be taken for granted, though, Calvin, even a straight-in shot, because not only is the idea that you want the ball to go in, but you want your cue ball to come around where you're going to have your best place to make your next ball.
Yeah, and obviously the cue ball being down below wouldn't have been very good for his 12 or his 9 here. So
it's like when you're playing golf and you're shooting out of the woods.
Okay, Rick Giro with the ball in hand is gonna shoot the 5. is the first game of the third match of the day. Now, we've seen Therian in these playoffs before also, haven't we?
Yeah, Pat comes quite often. He's qualified in 97, 98, 99, and 2000, and he's got a second.
Who's won the most tournaments?
Well, it'd be a three-way, it'd be two-way tie, and they're three-time champ, and that'd be Gary Dubuque and Chuck Para from Vermont. And I think we should also mention, Calvin, that we have a very good player, Herbie Collins. He played in all 8 tournaments and he didn't qualify. And he's been in it for like the last 3 or 4 years, and he's a one-time champ, and he come in second and a third. And so the competition this year was very, very tough. He took 2 second places this year.
All right, Rick Jarrell not worried about his next shot. He's worried about the shots to follow. He's decided to, well, it looked like he had decided on the 7. All right, 7 in the side. Looks like he's going to chase the 6 into the corner.
Well, right now, Calvin, he's concerned mostly about the 3-ball.
Anytime you get one of your balls next to the 8-ball, it's always a concern.
It is. And he might have an angle here to cut the 4 in the corner and come back and break that out.
Back when I was playing and they were still using square balls, if you hit the 8 first on any shot, you lost. That's not the case anymore.
That was a very nice shot.
I don't think so. Maybe a nice shot, but that 3
the leave isn't very good. To answer your question, no, you can't hit the 8 first because you have to hit your own object ball first. So that would be a foul.
Yeah, but it used to be you lost.
If you hit the 8-ball first, you lost? Oh, wow.
Okay, he wasn't particularly worried about making that shot. He just worried about where he's going to leave the cue ball. There's a little defense right there. Looks like Therian's going to shoot at his 10. And Jarrell doesn't really have I don't see much of a shot anywhere on that ball, do you?
No, it looks like Pat's playing some smart pool here, Calvin.
I've seen some defense in this game, but I remember from last year there was several instances of what used to be known as dirty pool that is now considered part of the game.
Oh yeah, there's no dirty pool anymore. With the way these rules have been worked around, it's pretty much anything goes as long as you're in the framework of the rules.
How'd he do that?
Pardon me?
He snuck that ball in. was a good shot.
He's a master of the game. There's no doubt about it.
He's number 2.
No, he's not going to be number 2. He's not going to be number 2, he said.
All right, he's put the token next to this corner, and he's going to shoot, and game 1 belongs to Rick Giro. Therian will break on the second game of the match. Looks like he's got choice. Okay, he put in one of each on the break. Looks like he's going to shoot the 15. Going after the 10 now. Cue ball did a little dance. All right, that 14 is his big problem. That 14 is next to the 4 and the 7.
And then the other 2 balls are his other problems.
Yeah, but he can see them, and
Just can't see a place for him.
no,
Actually, you could cut the 9 in the side, Calvin. But
yeah. There's no way he can put the 12 in. He's going to have to go after that 9 ball. So he's got the 9, the 12, and the 14, which is kind of hidden over there. He's going after the 12 ball. I guess he can see it. But came off the bank. Wasn't able to follow the bank down. Rick Giro's got his work cut out for him. That 14 being clustered with the 4 and the 7 are problems for everybody. Next match looks like he's going to shoot the 7. Next match will be Darren Mayo and Ken Levine, Junior Levine. Okay, Giro made it, but his 2 ball is in a bad spot. The 4 isn't in a particularly good spot. Looks like he's going to look at the 3. He's decided to take the 5 up in the corner, which is the easiest shot. And the only question is what he'll have for a leave. And I don't think you can see enough of that 4 to do anything with it. He's going to go down below at the 3 ball. He'll put it in, and he'll come back and knock the 4 out, but a little too much. It has gone beyond the pocket. And looks like he might be able to put that 2 in. If he can leave his cue ball over to the right, he'll have a shot at the 4. Now he's also got the 6 ball down below. All right, the cue ball ends up in the corner. Looks like a pretty easy shot on the 14. I would say Therian is sitting pretty good here. He followed at 14, and he's left himself with just one option. Now the the 9 ball. Shooting the 9. Misses the 9. But it blocks that corner pocket, making the 6 more of a problem than it was in the past. Giro doesn't have any really easy shots here. Even coming off a bank into that 4 isn't a possibility. And he doesn't want to hit that 6 to try to bring that off with that 8 ball sitting right next to it. It looks like he's thinking about it. But if he hits that 6 ball, he'd be hitting his cue ball into the 8, and no idea what might happen out of that. He's looking to see if there's enough distance between the 2 ball and the bank. Looks like he's trying to put the 4 ball in. Or try to come in and slice the 4 ball into the corner. And he did it. Nice shot. But he's no better off as far as the next 2 balls. Although he might have a shot at the 6, he's still going to have problems with that 2 as long as the 12 ball is blocking that pocket. He may try to bring the 6 back into the side. Alright, he's going to try to bring the 6 in onto the side, I believe. There it is. That was the shot, but it still doesn't leave him much with that 2 ball. He's going to try to draw it off onto the other side, into the corner. He did a good try. The 8 ball doesn't go in. The cue ball does. So it's ball in hand with the 8 ball sitting there. He loses. All right. He hasn't lost.
He didn't go in? I thought the 8 went in.
No, the 8 ball is sitting right there in the corner. That's that black one over there.
Oh my God, Calvin, I thought that was gone.
He didn't lose in that shot, but it's just a formality. This Therien, unless he gets nonchalant here. And this, if he makes it without scratching, and he did, this will be the first match that's going to go to the 3rd game.
And the person that wins the most games throughout the tournament will be the
Giro
one
looking to win it on the 8 ball break, and he did. Rick Giro just won it on the 8 ball break. There he goes. This match is over. Rick Giro just won it. Guess Therien made him mad. Okay, now we have Levine breaking. Ken Levine Jr. And he's going against Darren Mayo. So we have 3 in the winner's bracket, 3 in the loser's bracket. It's double elimination. Levine with the break. We got the 9 and the 6. Here's the places where people could qualify for this tournament. Looks like he's going to go for the easy one, the 11 ball. He's shooting at a cluster. We can't see here on camera, but he's shooting at a cluster of them. Looks like the 15 had a shot at going into the corner. Now Mayo will get up. Last time Levine was on Hometown Cable, he was probably playing softball. Last time Mayo was on Hometown Cable, he was probably bowling for Northeastern Clinton. We'll go after the 5. Nope. Decided to shoot the 4, which is pretty much a sure shot. But his leave is probably a little less than what he was hoping for. All right, Levine shooting the 10. Puts it into the corner, but comes off the rail quite a bit, doesn't go in. Mayo's going to try to put the 7 into the side pocket. And he does. He's going after the 1. It's the easy shot. And did he hide himself, Jay?
No, I think you can see the 3. It'll be close, but I think you can see the 3.
That's the 3. In this light, it almost looks orange.
Actually, it might be the 5.
Looks like the 5 to me. But.
It is. Actually, I don't know how much difference it would make on the shadows on the ball, but when we raise the light to take pictures and never put it back down. Very nice shot. This is going to give him a break shot on his 8 ball.
Well, he's got to still break that 8 ball away from that 13.
He might have the right angle just to catch the corner of the 8 to do that.
It's a case though where if you worry too much about your next shot, you might miss miss the shot.
That's right. And that's kind of interesting, Galvin. All the other 6 players today have been in the finals before, and the 2 guys that haven't been in the finals happen to be playing each other right here in the last match in the first round, so they get to watch the other guys shoot, and it's probably working out pretty well this way. Tried really hard to do it. He's got, so to speak, he's close to his work.
Yeah, but He can't just touch that 8 ball. He has to. Something's got to hit the bank after he hits it, right?
And unfortunately, Kenny Levine's an excellent player. He could run out the remaining balls here.
Now, if he hits it, doesn't hit a bank, it's a scratch, but it's not a losing scratch, right?
That's right. As long as the cue ball remains on the table, he's in good shape.
It just becomes ball in hand for Levine. Now he has to hit the 8 ball first. If he doesn't, is that a scratch, a losing scratch?
It's not a losing scratch, but it's a ball in hand. The only way he would lose here would be to not put the token up, pocket it in a pocket not where the token is, or scratch, which would be dropping the cue ball in the pocket.
Well, if he doesn't put the token up and doesn't put the ball in, he wouldn't lose.
Yeah, you lose because you have to have that token. He made a good hit. He left the third.
All right. To people who
I just wanted him to say that. That was a good hit.
what was the discussion about there, Jake?
Well, the possibility that it didn't hit the 8 first, but it did. It hit the 8 on the way by.
It did?
It did hit the 8. Yeah, it was an excellent shot. He left the 13 there where Kenny's got to break it out.
And I thought he'd missed the 8.
Well, actually, he did a very, very good move there. Now, I don't know if you would call this dirty pull, Calvin, but I would, if I didn't have a good opportunity to come down there and break that out, I'd leave 2 of my balls.
Yeah, you want to leave the 13 and one other one.
That's right.
He's in a situation where it's tough to miss this.
It's a tough call because, well, you can miss it, but the thing of it is, he's got a nice opportunity to come down there and break that up. That was a mistake.
Yeah, he didn't quite break that up. Okay, he's going to shooting for that 13. And apparently he thinks he can see it past the 8. Well, bad news is he gift wrapped it for Darren Mayo.
Yeah, he put it on a platter.
That was a nice shot by Levine, but since it didn't go in, it became an easy one for Darren Mayo. Okay, Mayo leads 1-0 in this last match, and won't you remind the viewers, you mentioned it at the start when you introduced everybody, but won't you remind the viewers where everybody's from, Jay?
Okay, well, playing in this match here, Darren Mayo qualified at Manny's in Champlain, and Ken Levine qualified at the Bullmart. And just to give a quick rundown of the other players and their sponsoring locations, you had Gary Dubuque qualified at Armin's, and Johnny Richards qualified at the VFW Post 1418. Bob Barnes qualified at the American Legion 912. Neil Young qualified at the Chateauguay Hotel. Rick Giroux qualified at Sandy's Shamrock Inn. And Pat Therian qualified at the Country Club.
Now, do any of these establishments contribute financially to this tournament?
Yeah, each location gives us a little donation, which helps toward the trophies and the advertising and everything, and that's very much appreciated.
But the income that's derived from the tournament held at their place goes to their tables?
Right. Any money that the players put in the tables, if it's their own table, they keep all the money, and if it's a vending company, they split it with the vending company.
So what does it cost to play a game of pool?
It's $1 now in just about all the locations. The VFW by the Twin Bridges, I believe, is 50 cents, but all vending tables, Valley vending tables, are $1 now.
It used to be a quarter, you know.
Yeah, well, when my dad bought a table when I was 16, it was an old used bar table, and it had 2 10-cent slots. I thought that was interesting.
Tell us a little bit, just a little bit now, about the place we're in here today. This is the first time that tournament has been held in this particular spot, although you did have a location here before, and you were using some of this room a couple years ago, right?
That's right, Calvin. When I first moved down here, I was renting the building, and we had a little showroom down at the other end, and the south end of the building was formerly known as Papa Joe's Restaurant, and they moved out, and then I bought the building, and over the last 2 years we remodeled it and opened it all up and into this dream come true, so to speak.
So this is a cafe, a pool cafe, not a pool hall, it's a pool cafe.
Well, the idea is I'm trying to get away from that pool hall, so to speak, because pool hall kind of brings bad images.
Hey, I just got done taping the Music Man last night, and they talk about that pool that starts with P and rhymes with T and stands for trouble. So I know about pool, as you know. I saw that musical last night in Shazy.
What we're trying to do here, it's a restaurant. We're going to have a restaurant, and all the tables on the floor are going to be different models that we sell. So they're going to be working showroom model tables, and we're going to try to push the family atmosphere. We're going to have children's tournaments on weekends to bring the family out, and just want it to be a nice, comfortable place for people to come.
You got 3 tables set up. Is that what you're going to have?
Well, there's 3 right now, but when we're all said and done, once we get all our licenses and everything and the place is up and running, it's going to have 8 tables.
8 tables. So it'll be a little more tight.
It's going to be tighter than it is now. This is a lot of room right here. There's going to be 4 to 4.5 feet between tables.
And any brawls, you'll not be allowed to break the cue stick over the opponent's heads? None of that allowed?
Well, I'm hoping we won't have any trouble, but when alcohol becomes involved, you have trouble. But we're gonna try to keep it as
Mainly a family rather than...
I'm going to push for the family, yeah.
But you will have a liquor license and a restaurant. What kind of restaurant?
It's going to be like the old Claire and Carl's theme. We were going to have a car hop, but right now, until we get established, it's just going to be Michigans and burgers and all the great food that is not good for you. Pizza. We built a big back deck, and we're building a patio out there, and we're going to have horseshoe pits. And on Saturday nights, we're going to have antique and classic car rallies and bands on the back deck. So it's going to be a multi-purpose facility.
Okay, Darren Mayo leading 1-0. He's trying to make it 2-0 and take this match. His 12 ball is situated right next to the 8 ball. He's about to shoot here, so we'll zoom in. Oh, he's shooting the low ones. I thought he was shooting the high ones. That happens when you're not paying attention. Levine's got the stripes.
Well, actually, Kenny ran it down very nicely there, and he got to his last ball, and he ran into a little bit of trouble.
That's what happens when you're chit-chatting and not paying attention here. So, the Mayo's shooting the low balls. And anytime your opponent runs a bunch off, it makes it a little easier for you to see your own balls. I'm going to shoot the 2 into the side. I'd say he has a reasonable shot at running this.
Well, he made a nice shot there to break the 8 and the 1 away from the high ball. Yeah, Calvin, he has a very good chance of doing this.
Now tell us a little bit about the Chateauguay establishment that you're honoring this year, Jay.
Well, the place was called Paulie Jackson's Pool Hall, and he operated it in 4 locations over the years. At one time, he had a shoe shine chair in there where people would go in, and get their shoes shined. He had from 2 to 5 tables, depending which location he was in. He'd worked for the village of Chateauguay in the water department, and years ago you didn't have a map of all the different water lines, so if they ever had a problem with the water line, they just called Paulie up, and he knew exactly where to go and where the water lines ran. So I thought that was pretty interesting. His daughter and son-in-law took 2 of the tables and moved them to Norwood, New York, and started a pool hall out there for a while.
Let's talk pool halls. I'm familiar with bar rooms and other establishments having pool tables in their places of business, but are there many pool halls in the Tri-County area?
No, actually, one of the big demises, Calvin, of the pool hall was the fact that the small barroom table came out and people wanted to have drinks when they played pool, so they started going to these bar rooms, and you couldn't have more than 1 table in an establishment with a liquor license. Now they changed that, and actually this is going to be one of the first ones I know of in north of Albany to have a liquor license with more than 1 pool table. So we're going to tie it up here. Darren Mayo and Kenny Levine tied at 1-1.
All right, for the final game of this match, Jay has lowered the lights that he raised before the day's event started. So I already hear rumblings of protest. People want to start from the top all over again. Just the losers want to do that, though.
Of course, once you win, everything's good.
Okay, this is the second match to go to its 3rd game. Last time we got to that point, Rick Giro sank it on the 8 ball. Let's see if Ken Levine Jr. will do the same.
It's Ken Levine Jr.? I didn't realize that, Cal.
Well, they used to call him Junior when he was playing softball, and a fellow named Ken Levine was playing out there too, so I don't know.
Actually, his dad must be named Ken Levine.
That's my guess. Although his mother's not old enough to have a kid that age, though, so. Okay, so you said this probably be the first pool hall with a liquor license in the area. Are there other pool halls where there's no alcohol?
Yes, there's up on Route 3, Pockets Billiards. They used to be located downtown on Margaret Street, and they relocated up to up where Jade used to be, China Buffet, Golden Buffet.
Uh-huh. So you expect to have this place open year-round then, huh?
Oh yes, it's going to be activities out back during the summer, and we're going to get it put on the snowmobile trail map, so we can be a destination for snowmobilers.
Shooting the 10 ball. I didn't think it would go.
He was going for the leave, Calvin, and I think he did a good job on him.
Yeah, he just wanted to get close and hide the ball. So now Darren Mayo has his work cut out for him. He's got to shoot the low balls. The cue ball is up against the cushion. And there's nothing that looks good from here. And he's calling the 2 on the side. I'll tell us again. He doesn't have to hit his ball to put that one in. He can do it on a combination off the other guy's ball or not.
You can combinate off the other guy's ball, but you have to hit your own ball first.
Have to hit one of your own balls first.
That's right. And again, he just played another nice safety to come back at Kenny. He left him pretty much. He can probably touch his ball, but he's not going to make anything.
Yeah, he's only got 3 to shoot at, and the 12 is. He's got 4. Oh yeah, there's one up in the corner here. Yeah. I don't think he can. No, he doesn't have the angle to come back at that 10. He's going to call the 11 ball. 11 will not go in from that. Again, he's just trying to hit it and come close, but I don't think that 11 can go in.
Did he call the 11, Calvin?
Yeah.
You know,
11 in the corner.
10 almost might go in. 10 off 11.
Yeah, but can you hit that 11 hard enough?
I don't know. It's hard to tell from up here.
Because that 10 is it against? No, it's not against the cushion, so he doesn't have to hit it quite as hard. Okay, he hit the ball hit the bank after the shot, so it's all that needs to happen. Mayo may have a shot at the 2 ball in the side. He may have a shot at the 5 ball down in the corner. Looks like he's going for the side shot. And he doesn't get it. And I think there's room for that 12 to sneak in. Maybe not. Be close. Looking at it through the camera, doesn't look like it. Looking at it from up here where I'm standing, it looks like there is room for the 12 to go by the 1. But the close-up through the camera doesn't indicate that. So this question now becomes, can he bank something? He's going to try to bank something and come back and put the 10 ball in, I would assume. If he can find a way to touch that 11, yep, he touched it, but he couldn't get it to hit off the 10. Slow moving at this point. Both players playing very cautiously. This is the last qualifying game of the last qualifying match for the winners bracket. Mayo shoots the 10 ball down into the corner. And he does have several options now. Going for the 2. All right, Darren Mayo decided to go for the 5 ball. And he's got a couple of options. Apparently that 1 ball off the 4 isn't one of them. He does have the 3 and he does have the 6. And it looks like he's going for the 6 into the corner. Missed it. All right, Levine's going to shoot the 10. And he breaks out his 11, but he has put his cue ball into the corner. His 12 is pretty much hidden by the 1 and the 4. It's a good shot, but he has a shot at that at 9 ball, Jay. Did you take that one?
Oh yeah, I think Calvin, if he finesses it in enough, he might be able to get a little bit of a breakage on that 8 to get into his 12 ball.
All right, here's Levine shooting his 9 ball. That's not the shot I would have shot. I would not have done that, would you?
Well, he's trying to tie up the his ball with Darren's balls. That way, it only allows him to shoot the 6 and a 3. We'll see how it pans out here.
I think these guys are just trying to get extra TV time. That's all I think.
Yeah.
This match, the whole thing was moving fast till these 2 guys get up here. They're both playing defense.
Well, again, it's the first time in the tournament, and they're playing cautiously. We've seen some good pool here in this match.
All right, Mayo should have an easy time with his 3 ball, just a matter of positioning his cue ball. And of course, we saw him miss a shot a short while ago where he missed because he was worried about where his cue ball was going to end up. Okay, Mayo trying to decide what he can possibly do with his 4 and the 1 without shaking that 8 up too much. He's calling a ball back there. I guess that would be the 1 ball, but if he hits it that hard, you better look out for the 8. And he called that pocket just for the sake of calling a pocket, I guess. He hit it that hard, he wasn't really planning on anything going down next to that corner.
No, he just wanted to call his pocket, so.
Call a pocket.
Yeah.
What happens if he didn't call a pocket, it would be a scratch, right?
Well, we don't get that technical anymore.
Except on the 8 ball.
8 ball, you got to have that token.
There's Levine shooting his 11. Okay, Mayo's going to shoot, well, he called the pocket there. Let's see what he's going to try to bring the 4 back down. And the ball got down there, but doesn't really bother him that they didn't go in because he didn't have a shot at the 1 ball. Okay, Levine shooting the 11. Puts it in the corner now. The question becomes, now what? He's going to try to bring the 9 ball back into the corner. At least that's the theory. Okay, now we got Mayo shooting into the corner with the 1 ball. And it goes in. He's got an easy shot at the 4, and he'll try to decide where he wants to put that cue ball to shoot at the 8. Token has been placed up in the corner. Looks like an easy shot. This will wrap up the first portion of our coverage for most of you. Some of you, we may have continuing coverage on this same day. Others, this will wrap it up. Thanks for watching Hometown Cable's coverage. The 8-Ball Billiards 12th annual tournament here on Hometown Cable.